everyone, what up, and Kaiser here, and well, I'm back after a month away hiatus cause I had uni work, but I'm back. And since there's a new Star Ocean update, and given how well my last video on Star Ocean did, I thought, why not continue on delivering more Star Ocean news. Now of course there was another Star Ocean update that happened 4 weeks ago and I missed reporting that, so to make up for lost time I am going to do the analysis of both the mission report 2 and 3 for this video. So anyway, for mission report number 2, this one was revolved around D.U.M.A and Vanguard Assault, which focused the emphasis on what this D.U.M.A is. This sentient artificial intelligence jetpack kind of thing, where it's used not only able to fly for exploration, but also can be used for combat. And how it's been used to fly is just looks so good and does actually give Xenoblade X vibes, to be honest. Now with D.U.M.A you are able to fly anywhere you want, and it's useful to like find things like, you know, items, treasure chests, all that kind of stuff. And that fly mechanic is a very awesome way to take advantage of Star Ocean's more open world vibe they have for this game. And as such, that not only that, there's also going to be purple gems scattered around, where if you collect many purple gems it will increase D.U.M.A's abilities and skills, which will be very useful. There are also things like field scan, where D.U.M.A can help find any like treasure chests or items hidden away that you would normally find, making find them, you know, a bit more easier. But of course there's also, but that's mainly for the exploration for D.U.M.A, as D.U.M.A is also used for combat. One of the instances that D.U.M.A is used is called Vanguard Assault. And yeah, Vanguard Assault, or VA, I'm probably gonna say Vanguard Assault because VA is confusing if you're gonna say voice actor. Vanguard Assault is basically similar to the Warp Strike from Final Fantasy 15 and Esther from Kingdom Hearts 3. I'm getting those kind of vibes, where you can position your character using D.U.M.A and do one big flying charge attack, which pretty much looks awesome, and kinda convinced that Star Ocean 6 is inspired by other Square Enix games. Not only that, but other things is that each party member that uses a Vanguard Assault will have different special uses, like Raymond, and as well as the fact that Letitia would use, like, you know, different types of attacks depending on the weapons. But one can do a straight charge, or one could even, you know, do a full combo. There's also the fact that Vanguard Assault can be used on different things. Like for example, if you use one on Nina, it can be able to, like, you know, instantly help to buff nearby party members. Or for the case of Elena, it could be able to use to immediately scan for like enemy details and weaknesses. Another mechanic they have that is brought back is Star Ocean 4's Blindside for this game, but works a little bit differently. Instead of having to, you know, hold the circle button and, you know, just charge and wait for an enemy attack, in this one when an enemy has sights, you can use D.U.M.A to quickly blindside them, like to confuse and then attack them. So it looks a little bit different here, where you can just charge and then move into a different direction that will confuse the enemy and that will blindside them. This looks very interesting, and as such, the multiple blindsides can also be affected here, as you can, you know, blindside numerous enemies and be able to, you know, deal tons more damage to almost do like an insta kill on all of them. Looks like there's also the aggression radar, where it gives you, you know, several spots to know when is the perfect time to detect enemies attacking you and when to blindside properly. So it gives you an advantage on when to know when to use blindside at the right time, especially during enemy encounters. And also another thing is that if you're able to do like a vanguard assault during exploration and attack an enemy that doesn't see you, you can do a surprise attack, which will leave enemies stunned and blindsided for a while, which obviously is a good thing, and you get some good bonuses for that. Now all of this sounds really good, and I'm happy to have the blindside return, since I love that mechanic in Star Ocean 4, and also the fact that this D.U.M.A is a very good way on usage for exploration, especially for an open world game, which is nice. And it does seem that this D.U.M.A plays some kind of role in the plot, as apparently some of the main villains find it to be, very powerful and very useful. And speaking of, this is when we get to our next mission report that just came 2 days ago on the Square Enix Asia account. I don't know why they don't have it already for like the official Western one, but whatever. Anyway, so Star Ocean Mission Report 3 showcases things like villains, new bodies and skills and actions. The first one being the villains, being a group of people known as the Vyrians, who are apparently a new faction of the Veil Empire, the enemy of Letitia's people that are engaging in war. And these three people clearly are some of the certain antagonists of that game. And as such, we have these three horned people like Gaston, who's voiced by Sean Chiplock, as well as Lola, voiced by Faye Marta, which I kind of knew it was Faye Marta when I first heard her voice in like the release date trailer. And lastly, Valange, voiced by Ben Diskin, which is a bit surprising. As such, these three people do seem to be like common, foils to the main party, and especially in one of the comments, I believe someone said that Star Ocean Divine Force could have like two sets of enemies depending on which story route you take. For example, like the Vyrians, I'm just gonna call them horny people. It seems that they could be on Letitia's story based on the fantasy approach, while the other villains, that being the Pan-Galactic Federation, could also possibly be for Raymond's side, and they could eventually co-emerge in some way. And yeah, that would probably be interesting if that was the case. But yeah, these villains do look potentially interesting. But another thing to note is that we have also a new ally, a new Pi member, in the form of Malkia Terefrian, and she is voiced by Laura Post, who you may guys know as Kitsumi from Persona 5 Royal, and she is potentially a new recruitable Pi member, and probably based on Letitia's roots, exclusive Pi member for her, or she just joins on the main story. I know that one of the marketing things of this game is that depending on each route you get unique Pi members, depending on which one you pick. And so I'm assuming that if you get Letitia's route, you obviously get this girl to join your party. And she has some very impressive skills with her unique melee style, who has the ability to use shape-shifting malleable bodies and can grow her arms or legs to whip up enemies like she's Miss Marvel or something. And she can also use a special move to share HP with her allies. So yeah, as such, this is pretty much very interesting. Now of course this game will have skills and actions, and how you unlock them is by gaining SP every time you level up. and to unlock those and to get skills. Of course, this game will have like a skill tree, which it's a thing I love in JRPGs. And the thing with SP is that you can use them to either boost skills that you already have, or obtain new skills to, give your party members like new things to have. And there's different types of skills that this game would have, like combat skills, which will offer like a variety of attacks, active skills that will help you gain the upper hand in battle, as well as stuff like passive skills that could provide, a bunch of supportive buffs, which is very useful. And yeah, so it gives you a choice of whether or not you want to boost your skills if you have enough SP, or unlock new skills in the skill tree. And I just love skill trees in my JRPGs, so that's all good to hear. And there's also training D.U.M.A. Of course, we obviously mentioned that you get D.U.M.A points, as in DP, for collecting gems, and obviously the more DP you earn, the more chance you have to like expand D.U.M.A skills, and has so many variety of things to unlock, like extending the scan, extended stun lock, reduce assault, strike gain, silencer, all these things that will help you like doing exploration and doing combat. And then there's also this new special ability called Vatting, which kind of reminds me of like the Mystic Arts from the Tales series. Now, Star Ocean had some interesting takes on it, I would say, technically, like Star Ocean 4's like Rush combo, and Star Ocean 5's reverse Rush attack, I think it's called. But yeah, these look pretty cool, and you have like a thing called like a Vatting gauge, and you get like powerful skill, like a very powerful unique skill that will like totally benefit the party, or just do lots of things in the battlefield, like lots of damage to enemies, or just other things, it seems. And yeah, this looks pretty cool, and I do think it will be able to do cool things. Okay, I'm a bit stuttering here, but anyway, other things that this game also offers is like a VA barrier, Vanguard Assault barrier, where if you hold down doing the Vanguard Assault in combat, it can have a barrier that will make enemies flinch and shield them from battle a bit. There are also things like D.U.M.A being able to be launched during battle, and activating a thing called an Estery Cage, where damage will help by reducing defenses of allies and party members, as well as being able to not flinch easily during combat. Though if you use this Estery Cage, you can't be able to use like Vatting or VA. So it does, and this one seems a little bit more situational, but alas, it does look promising. And lastly, but also that there is going to be another mission report, and this time it's going to take an emphasis on item creation, as well as the fact that, well, a certain recurring character from the series is back, and you might know her as Welch Vineyard. And also not that, but there's also mini games like this chessboard thing that apparently is what you do, like it's a mini game, and that kind of explains the whole pre-order bonuses with all those mini game pieces of like certain Star Ocean characters. But other than that, yeah, I have to say from both mission reports is that the story does look a little bit more interesting, more promising, to be honest, and as such seem like these villains, as well as have like new party members, and be able to have D.U.M.A being used for both exploration and combat is just super fun. It looks super fun, and yet the combat looks very good, and seeing like another party member join you and having her own unique moveset as well as stuff like having skills, is basically what Star Ocean fans crave for, I think. But yeah, overall, these 2 mission reports do provide very good intel, and I'm very excited to see what the next update has in store, and I'm very looking forward to this game. But anyway guys, that's it for me. So, what do you guys think about these 2 mission reports? Are you on board of getting Star Ocean and the Divine Force when it comes out? Let me know in the comments down below. Anyway guys, thank you guys so much for watching, so punch that like button, drop down a comment, and click that subscribe button if you're new. I'll see you guys in the next video. Kaiser out.